สวัสดีค่ะ We are here today with คุณ Aliwassa Pathnadabutr, Managing Director of CBRE Ellis, Thailand. The real estate industry is one of the key sectors contributing to Thailand's economy. And on the election day, you have set out in the Bangkok Post newspaper a checklist of ideas to stimulate the property sector. So could you please tell me that what key elements are for boosting the property sector?
What drives the property sector firstly is the economic growth that generate demands. Secondly is the infrastructure, government policy and foreign investment.
Right. So on the other hand, in your opinion, what obstructs the growth of the industry?
Recently, obviously, is the political situation that we have the political crisis in the last 2 years. But I think that another thing is the government policy. We have short-term policy to stimulate the business during the economic downturn. But it seems that we never have a long-term strategic plans or policy toward the real estate business.
Right. So is there any measure that you would like to propose to the new government?
I think to start with, I would like to propose that the government should at least know the country's positioning and have a master plan and key policies that are suitable for the real estate, with identifying which area that is suitable for which type of developments. And to implement the policy, you can do it through restructuring the obsolete law, or the old-fashioned law, and you can do it through zoning and tax incentive. And for the zoning, you can do it in broad term for specific, in broad area or specific area that best match to each sector.
Is there any particular sector that should be boosted?
I would like to start with the office sector because we used to have the demand for office sector 300,000 square meters per annum before the crisis. And recently, in the last 4 years, the demand dropped to under 100,000 square meters. So I think the reason starting from, I think 4 or 5 years ago when the government have shown sign of unwelcome to the multinational company by attempt to amend the Foreign Business Act. But fortunately that doesn't happen. And then we faced with the economic downturns, and that have a lot of impact on the office market.
So what measures that you think that could help the office market?
The policy that many countries use is to draw the regional office to open in our country. For example, we can use the tax incentive to draw certain business to the country, and I think that should be like a one-stop policy that include the setup, the immigration, the work permit, and the incentive.
What about the residential market?
Residential market in the last 2 years rely very much on the local. The problem of the local demand, we have a strong demand, but because recently there is a higher cost of living, and that affect to the lower end of the market. So recently the government helps the first-time home buyer in terms of the special mortgage and interest rate. And I think that is a good policy that should continue. But if we talk about the foreign demand, it hasn't come back to the Thai market during the last 2 years and even recently. So I think that should be the policy to boost the foreign demand.
Can you please tell me a little bit more about the policy?
The first one, which has been talking for a long time, but it hasn't been implemented yet, is the extension of the lease term from 30 years to 99 years. That will affect to the market that's selling housing or villa. So we know that we won't allow foreigners to buy freehold land. So at least foreigners should be allowed to buy leasehold, but the leasehold of 30 years is too short, and we have to use the term like 30 plus 30 plus 30, which is not so practical. So I think that if the lease term can be extended to a more simple one, to be 90 or 99 years, that will help a lot. Secondly is the foreign quota in buying freehold ownership in condominium. which is now the ceiling is at 49%. 49% actually is maybe enough for some market, but in some market like in Phuket or in resort town like Pattaya, where the majority are foreign buyers, 49% is not enough. And developer will have to find other ways to sell, and like a mix between leasehold and freehold, which is very complicated. So I think that to make it simple, in certain location, the government should extend the foreign freehold quota more than 49%, maybe to 60–70%.
Right.
Yeah.
And also Thailand is set as one of the top tourist destinations. So do you think that we should stimulate this particular sector as well?
Definitely, this is also very important, because to increase the number of tourists, it cannot be done by just advertising or just to have the exhibition. We need a new tourist destination, and to create that, the government must have the specific policy to create a special economic zone. Firstly, identify where it should be, and then the special economic zone means tax incentive, providing infrastructure, and other incentive to encourage both local and foreign investment to develop hotels, retails, and residential in that area, to make it like a new town or destination for tourists.
So how certain are you that these measures will work?
I think I'm working on the market for the last 23 years, and I know what the market needs. So I'm quite certain that if this policy has been implemented, it should be effective, and the policy should be implemented within a short term, like within 3 months. And you can expect to see the result differently in each sector. For example, if you encourage on the leasehold extension or the foreign ownership, that can be have effective within a year. But on the office market, it may take a little bit more time, but it is a good start.
When was the last time that the government took effective measure?
As far as I remember, the last time is about the government housing bank that have the 30-year loan term for the first-time home buyer. And I recall the Bank of Thailand that issued the policies about control the supply, because they are afraid of the price bubble. And before that is the policy to stimulate the residential market following the downturn of the global economy.
And final questions. Do any of the foreign investment proposal damage Thailand?
I don't see anything damaged. I don't see any of this policy will damage Thailand, but I understand that there will be a lot of criticism in Thailand when we talk about foreign investment. And I don't quite understand why, but I just think that at the moment we should look at the international market, because the world is globalization, and there is the flow of funds in and out of every country. The matter is just how we control it and make the right policy to promote the foreign investment. I don't see any damage, but on the other hand, I see more benefit to the countries.
Thank you.